Good evening, my brothers and sisters around the world. I hope everyone is doing well. Wish you all well, and I'm happy to be here with you this evening. It's been a little while since I made my very first video, and that came with prompting from God, from Spirit, and and God, the universe, let me know when it was time to send that message out, and um, that goes for the same today. I mean, I knew it was 111 today, and that in itself is um, a special number or day. For anyone that doesn't know, there are portals and special times for setting, whether it's our intention or starting something new, and whatnot. It's something I've learned on my journey, my awakening journey. And today, I I asked God and angels to show me if I was to send this message out today. And sure enough, I never underestimate the power of God. Uh, and God came through and showed me specific mathematical equations, numbers uh, that actually signifies pi, and it signified creation. Yeah, big number, and just like the first video. So I'm very thankful for that. I want to make sure I'm staying in perfect timing. And so, um, anyway, welcome everyone. I just want to say, if you do end up liking the content, I would appreciate if you could hit the like button, or subscribe if you'd like, and comment. I'm excited to hear from anyone who wants to leave a message or ask a question. As I go into the message today, I know I want to share my story, my awakening story, uh, but also there's several other topics. Uh, but I guess I'll touch a little bit on my awakening and then kind of go into what's on my heart. I just hope this message can be helpful or inspiring and encouraging for you, or healing. So anyway, yeah, I diligently was, excuse me, I'm going to turn this down. I have a background playing there. Um, I was diligently seeking God, and I had known in previous years what it was like to, the first time I called on the Lord, on Jesus, many, many years ago, um, uh, and I was awakened then in a big way. And then I had my family and everything, and I just always knew there was something more, that God had something more. There was something missing. Well, it took years later to 2012 as I began seeking God again, and God's truth and wisdom. And when we do that, we go within, God will open the floodgates. And so my awakenings began on December 21st, 2012. And I did not know that I don't think I knew at that time that's when the world was supposed to come to an end, or whatever. Um, but then after I had my the beginning of my awakening, then, uh, uh, yeah, that even the stars and everything aligned on the 21st there, which I didn't understand any of that back then either. Um, and but once I was awakened on that evening, uh, then I realized, oh my goodness, the Mayans were right. There was an end there. In the spirit realm, many people, I mean, headlines and everything said, oh no, nothing ended, nothing ended. Yeah, it did, but in a way that they didn't understand or perceive. But anyway, and then then a big supernatural, the second part of my awakening was Good Friday 2013 at 12:52 a.m. And not like I was sleeping, like really sleeping. No, I was awake when it happened, but awakened in a way that I was, I'll just explain it the best I can really quick. I was just hit in the chest, like almost knocked over or almost fell forward with love. Just pure, huge, the love that God, the love of Christ, just big love uh, for the universe and for everybody. And I remember it just took my breath away. And then as I was kind of coming back, from that, like, oh my goodness gracious, well, then it was like divine knowledge of what time it was. And basically, I remember thinking, my eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. And just because that love, once you tasted of God's divine love and magnificence and power like that, there's another word for it. It's called Shekinah glory. Because when it happened, everything was gold. I mean, I remember seeing gold, glitter like gold. I remember looking at people that were around and knowing that, I mean, which people, I mean, who it was covering, where the gold was actually covering certain people. Yeah, it was really amazing. And anyway, the Lord said, he was awakening his angels and the 144,000. If anybody doesn't know, 144,000 does mention that, and it does talk about that in the Bible. It's not people like I thought it was, but I'll probably touch on that in another video. But that was kind of the beginning. And it's like, oh my goodness, Lord, you're waking up your kids. And I just started thinking about everybody. And I knew God was going to bring too, if I was awakening, but anyway, that was kind of the beginning of the journey. And then from there, yeah, I have much more to tell, but that just kind of starts it because I just wanted to touch on that because, yeah, once you've tasted of the love of Christ, of God, like that, then yeah, no denying. And yeah, transformative. So anyway, but what I really wanted to just talk about, and I got a little more time. Sometimes you have to have your video at a certain amount. I'm learning this about the YouTube videos and everything, so this won't be a really long one, but I've been concerned, so concerned over people's mental health and just what they're going through during these times, the last couple years. I know where I've been and what I've learned and gone through was very hard, but I knew I needed to have inexhaustible faith in God and myself, because God made me and God's in me, so I needed to hold on, and I did. But what I wanted to bring awareness to, if you didn't know, I mean, there's been a battle going on for thousands of years, and it's pretty much been, I mean, we've all been born into systems. Systems that have brought us to limitations. Okay, and it's basically it's been like a frequency war to keep us down low and limited. And right now, as this awakening is happening across the world, I mean, I couldn't have imagined how God was going to do this in the, but in the Bible it talks a lot uh, about that, um, yet not fully explained. There's things that weren't explained that God will show us, and but that um, we've basically been under attack as far as through different types of mind control and frequencies. It's basically been a frequency battle, and which I didn't know until I woke up. That was one of the first things God was showing me and showing a lot of other people. It's amazing how that happens. And you end up finding out, oh my goodness, yeah, they're awakening to the same information. And but yeah, it was about the mind control that was put into place here in the U.S. I think it was like 1930s or so. They did it in Russia, so then they hired somebody to come here and do it, and that was around the time we got TV. So television, telling lies to our vision. I've heard that say that. It's like that's true. But also we have the media. See, there's dark forces, and those that have been in power that knew of this time, that knew that there was going to be an awakening, that we were going to wake up to who we really are as children of God, like our divine higher selves are wanting us to wake up. And so I just want to music, everything has been down to keep us down low. The frequency was changed in music back 1950, 40, something like that. But you guys can research this for yourselves. But it went from 432 to 440, or they put it at 440. That's not a natural frequency. And then you've got technology and stuff too that we have to be careful, of what that's doing, because our bodies are affected. They are affected by that. And so it's very important what we, our environment. And so right now my heart's been going out for people like your mental health, our mental health. And I just wanted to encourage everyone to yes, definitely seek God, go within. This is a time of for us to clear and for purification and the traumas, which I know that there's a lot of people that know about that, like our generational traumas. We are also clearing that as well. But in our individual lives, I know there's different waves of lots of people awakening, and some may know what's happening and some may not. And the symptoms, I did not know for a long time, like what is going on. I mean, I just trusted God. But then eventually, God led me to those that knew about it or information to tell me, oh my goodness, that's what's going on, that my DNA was activated. I mean, I remember at one point, which was just amazing, God just starts revealing things. You go from revelation to revelation to revelation, revealing, understanding things. It's like, oh my goodness. Like I remember God first showing me that my thoughts matter. I mean, like, my thoughts affect my physical person. I mean, my physical body. My thoughts affect me. And I was opening my door at home, and all of a sudden my back went out. I'm like, I didn't even move weird. I didn't even move weird. I mean, my back used to go out once a year. I mean, just at some point, or twice a year, and couldn't get off the couch for a few days. So that day, and I was living on my reservation at the time, and I remember I opened my door and my back went out, and I was like, oh no. But at this time I had came back, to God. And so I trusted in God. But for a second there, when my back had went out, I went to sit on the couch, and I just had recently got a new phone from my son that actually has internet on it and stuff. I hadn't had a phone like that, and this was back in 2013. And so I had remembered. This is something else I can share at another time, but it had to do with tablets. Somebody else I know God had given him a vision, and we came across found the tablet, and on a random computer that someone that had been at my house had left it there so I could use it for something, and we chose to look up these tablets. But anyway, another story, but it had to do with what we found on the tablets, that a word, and that word was chakra. And I remember sitting on the couch that day, and that word came to me that I had read somewhere. It was some God's ancient knowledge was on these tablets. But anyway, I didn't know what that word meant, so I looked it up. And that is when I was first shown about our energy centers, our chakras, which some of you may know what they are. But what came up was a red circle, and it said chakra, it said root chakra and everything. And I'm like, Lord, what is that? And so I began to read it. Well, number one, energy centers. Okay, energy centers. And I was like, oh my goodness. I had been reading in Ezekiel, and a lot of things I didn't understand, but I was always seeking God and asking for answers and stuff. And well, anyway, the chakra and the energy center, it just reminded me of a song that went, he's my rock, my sword, my shield. He's my wheel in the middle of the wheel. He's the lily of the valley. Well, it was a song I used to sing many, many moons ago in church. And, God being the lily of the valley and everything. I mean, God's omnipotent, and everything. So, but I didn't know about our energy centers. So these energy centers is what we have inside, and we have 7 main ones, but there's more. But this red one was a root chakra one, and what it said was that is where fear. Let's see, what was it? Yeah, money, survival, kind of our root where we're grounded, and grounded to Mother Earth. Well, which I didn't know that at the time either, anything like that. And but what it was saying was, as far as what I was thinking, I remember when I opened the front door that I was thinking, oh no, how am I going to have enough money to move? Because I had just gotten a notice that I had to move again. And it scared me because I had been divorced, had kids, and I've had to move several times, and it was always so hard and stressful, and it was just so hard for us. And so getting that notice, and that day when I opened the door, I happened to be thinking about that, my back went out. So God, the Lord, made sure that I got that connection, that I got that connection between my thoughts, my body, and how that works. So I was like, oh my goodness gracious. And then and then in that same time frame, that same day, it's like, God, you are changing. You change us on a biological, molecular, neurological, alchemical way. That's what you do. And that's what you came to. I mean, that's to bring us back to our authentic, true selves, bring us out of the limitations and everything. Well, see, I was told that back then, but see, this was When you're on a spiritual awakening, there's levels. I learned that. That there's levels to awakening because we've been so suppressed, and there's been so much control, dark forces against us to keep us in that state, to keep us in flight or fight mode, survival, instead of living in abundance. And I mean living. Um, so anyway, what I was trying to get at is the concern for everybody's, for how y'all are doing, and your mental, how you're doing mentally and physical and everything, and let you know the connection there, that there is a connection, and know that you have what you need within, and just accessing it and asking God, to help, to come help you. And because right now you have all of heaven, heavenly realms, Mother Earth. I thank God so much that Jesus, that he led me, Father, Mother, God led me back uh, to my connection with Mother Earth and nature, and um, just more in tune, because with your awakening you do become more, there's many people empathic and everything else, and that's where I was. And sometimes if you're empathic, it can kind of pull you in all different directions. And so once you get on awakening, you get to learn a little more balance there. But um, so just some recommendations to help if you're for your healing, and for your mental health and everything. To first totally trust in God and yourself. Um, yeah, what was that word? Inexhaustible. Yeah, inexhaustible faith in God and yourself. And as far as eating, uh, eating good foods, and I mean, I've actually gone mostly vegan now. I mean, I say there's levels to awakening, and the just the purifying and whatnot. But as we release, and when we're doing our inner work to release, we hold traumas, and belief systems and everything else, and um, God starts helping us, and it'll come to the surface so we can clear it and whatnot. And um, I have found, when God showed me about the frequencies and everything, that the Salveggio tones, they're very helpful in balancing, calming. Singing bowls, that's another one. And bless our brothers and sisters out there that are putting those on YouTube, to where you can tune in, whether it's for meditation, helping to clear energies and negativity. I just always pray and ask God for direction, and the Holy Spirit to direct me and lead me, and to the right sources, and God is faithful. I always know I'm divinely guided and protected in all that I do, and the universe is working in my favor. And so just know that it depends on what what you tell yourself, what you know and believe, that you are strong and powerful, and you are so loved. You are loved beyond measure, and I just send you all goodness and God's love. But yeah, just that's kind of to start with, Oh, and to keep the media. Be careful what you're listening to. What are we paying attention to? What are we paying attention to? Ignorance is expensive pain. Okay, so I turn on my computer. I open up my computer. Well, the first thing that comes up is like news, and every time it's death. There is something on there that's negative. That is purposeful. Just know that it is purposeful. It is purposely put there to bring your vibration and your frequency down. Okay? Because they don't want us to wake up. And just like with COVID, COVID was creating our vision in detail. I remember hearing that. I think it was Infinite Waters that said that, and it was like that was true because the first thing I knew was fear was across the board when that came out. And although I could feel some fear, I knew I didn't have to be afraid, but I was afraid for everybody else. I was afraid for others that didn't know how powerful they were, and or that they have the covering that God activates within us, and Holy Spirit, Jesus. I'll do other videos that you kind of explain and put that all together better, but the answers, it's in our DNA and written in our hearts. And so that's why I encourage everybody to just draw near, seek God and the truth within you. God will direct you. As I said, I've called on the Lord, and the Lord will answer. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Yeah, but to spend time, I know at first it might be hard to clear your mind and to sit still, because when you do, things might come up. But even if you have to cry or whatever, God is there. God is in you, and you are loved, and angels are all about us right now, and there to answer. I've had to learn a lot on my journey to realize that, because I didn't understand all that stuff, but I do more so now. And I know when we ask, they're there. But yeah, as far as the media, music, I'm careful what I listen to and everything, because I know it holds within an energetic pattern, signature, that is not all good for us, just like certain foods that we've been fed. I'll probably just kind of end this video, and I'll probably pick it up in the next one, because there is more that I want to share. But I just want to say thank you for those that continue to listen, listen to the message. Again, I'm be happy to answer any questions, or if you leave any comments, I appreciate that. And again, if you like it, if you could hit the like button, that'd be great, so then other people can see it. It's my hope to make some more videos on different topics, and hope to be of help or encouragement, and to help you heal on your journey. And I'll get probably better at doing these videos. Sometimes I get all over the place. I got so much kind of going on that I'm thinking about. But know that you are loved, and you are powerful, and I love you, and I'm praying for you. Okay, everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening. All right, namaste.